Hello, my name is Tim Spencer. I'm Assistant Head Teacher in charge of Science at Chesterton, and I'm just going to use this video to explain to you a bit about how you can effectively support your son or daughter in revising for their Science GCSE exams. So this slide shows you an overview of the different options for units and courses that we offer at Chesterton. All students either do core and additional science or triple science. Students who do triple science take these units that you can see on the screen at the moment. So they do 7 units of biology, 7 units of chemistry, 7 of physics, and they also do 3 controlled assessments: an investigation in biology, investigation in chemistry, and an investigation in physics. Students taking additional science complete 6 units of biology, 6 units of chemistry, 6 of physics, and they also do some controlled assessment units that you can see on the right there. Currently, this is where we are with both additional and triple students. You can see that all controlled assessment has been completed and that we have completed 5 units for each discipline. For additional science, that means we have 1 unit left to complete, and then we can focus on revision lessons. For triple, with 2 units remaining and the unit 7s being larger units, there is a need for more time to be spent in lessons covering content, and so not so much time in lesson can be given over to revision. Either way, it's essential that students do not think that revision in lessons will be enough to help them achieve their potential. This slide is really significant in helping students to understand what is required for them to achieve their potential. Students can often think that they have to make huge gains to move up by 1 or 2 grades, and perhaps think it's too late now, they're not going to be able to do it. What this slide helpfully shows is that the grade boundaries for each exam paper are actually fairly close together, and so adding on a small number of marks in a paper can make a significant difference. You can see that each higher tier paper is marked out of 60, and typically if you get 43 marks, give or take a couple depending on the year and depending on the paper, about 43 out of 60 will be an A star. It's around about 35 for an A, 27 for a B, 20 for a C, and 14 for a D. So if a student, for example, at the moment was on a low C, let's say they did a mock tomorrow and got 23 out of 60, they may well feel it's inconceivable that they would ever achieve their potential if that were an A, for example. But actually what we're talking about is them adding on 12 marks to that exam paper during the course of the year to probably move them up to achieve an A grade. So a little bit of revision regularly, effectively, that adds on perhaps 1 mark to their exam score per week is actually going to have a very significant impact on their overall grade. You'll notice it says that if a student scores 50 marks out of 60, that is classed as 100%. For whatever reason, the exam board does not give any additional credit for extra marks gained over 50 out of 60. So for able students who are aiming for A and A star grades, it's really important that they spread their revision equally across all units, because if they focus on just 1 unit and do really well and get over 50, those extra marks over 50 are not actually marks that they will get any credit for down the line. Revision is not a complicated science. Hard work is what will pay. Hard work is what will enable students to achieve their potential and to get grades they can be really pleased with. And there are 2 key resources that I would point you towards in terms of supporting students to achieve their potential. So firstly, past papers, and I'll talk more about those in a second, and secondly, using CGP revision guides. There are lots of different ways that you can revise effectively, but you want a resource available that is going to enable you to know exactly what it is that you need to do well in the exam, And I think the CGP revision guides are very helpful because they don't waste any words. If it could come up on the exam, then it's in the revision guide. If it would never come up in the exam, then it's not in the revision guide. The revision guides are available from school. They are £3 each, and we will make sure that your son or daughter gets the right ones for the course that they're doing and the tier of paper that they are studying. I've often found it helpful for students to take one page in a revision guide and to give themselves 10 minutes reading that revision guide and carefully trying to absorb as much information from the page in the revision guide as possible. At the end of the 10 minutes, if they then close the revision guide and on a piece of paper for a full 10 minutes write down everything that they can remember from the 10 minutes that they spent reading the revision guide. It's really important that they use the full 10 minutes and keep thinking and going over in their mind what it was that they were reading about. At the end of that 10 minutes, invariably they will realise that there was something that they missed, that they could have included in their notes. So at that point, they put the paper away, reopen the revision guide, and have another 5 minutes with the revision guide, trying to gain any extra information they missed first time around. Finally, if they then return to the piece of paper with the revision guide closed for the last 5 minutes and record any gaps in their knowledge, I think they will find at the end of half an hour of revision, they have effectively acquired considerable extra knowledge that is likely to help them get perhaps 1 or 2 extra marks in the exam. And remember, 1 or 2 marks every week is going to have a significant impact on their overall grade. All the revision resources are available on the website. I think you will find it quicker to access past papers simply by going through an internet search provider. So if I'm looking for a past paper, the quickest way would be to search for OCR past papers, and when you click on the link, you'll get a drop-down box like this at the bottom of the page. If you click on 21st Century Science GCSE, and then if it's a triple science student, any paper that has got a capital A in the title at some point will be a relevant paper. And if it's an additional science student, then any paper that has Science A or Additional Science A will be a relevant exam paper to use. It's really helpful for students to use exam papers for revision technique because it helps them to see the sorts of questions that come up frequently and also the precise wording that examiners are looking for to ensure that students get the marks available. And for example, if you put this search into the OCR website, in this case it would come up with 47 different past papers. So that should keep anyone occupied for a good amount of time. Everything that I've mentioned so far links to students revising on their own and to students increasing their knowledge, but it doesn't particularly help them to improve their understanding. And of course, for students to do as well as possible, we need to support them in improving what they understand as well as increasing the number of things that they know. Every Thursday after school in period 7, we will run lessons for students who have got the potential to achieve A stars and A's, but who are not at that level at the moment. This is by invitation only, and the lessons will be added to student timetables, and they can attend, and we have a ratio that's very favourable in terms of teachers to students, intensive sessions focused on helping students to really improve the standard that they are working at. Every half term we will review who's attending those sessions and invite new students or keep the same students attending based on what seems necessary. For students who have the potential to achieve a B or a C, those sessions run on a Friday instead. As teachers, there's nothing we love more really than a student coming to us at any point and saying, I've been trying to understand a given concept, I don't really understand it, can you help me? And I know that all the teachers in the science department will be very glad to spend time with students on that basis, talking them through any particular area of understanding that they are struggling with, be that during lunchtimes or after school and so on. Finally, we have CGP revision workbooks that are different to the revision guides. These are for students to write their answers to questions in. These are available for £5 from the Science Technicians. And if students would like to use them to help with revision, they can do. We will also provide students with workbooks on some occasions where we think it's necessary that they do some extra work alongside everything else that we're doing. I hope you found this information helpful. If you have any further questions or comments, please give me an email and I'll be happy to get back to you. Good luck.